show that starts with a simple premise and explores how different people view different subjects. The greatest philosophies, the most revolutionary changes, and the greatest inventions. And all of them started with just a thought. You just hit it at everyone there, but that's not a social. That's okay. That's okay. I got it. I got it. Don't worry, Anna. Don't worry. Anna, Miss Anna. I got to put... Oh, no, that's the wrong thing. I got to put the class on your name. We've did learn that you're classy and rich today.
I forgot we got to share, Yogi G.
Class on your name. We did learn that you're classy and rich today.
Oh, Lord.
Why do I hear a phone?
You hear my phone?
Yes, I hear your phone.
Let me lower it. You must. This the smart glasses is what you hear right here. The speaker.
I hear it. I hear it echo.
Yeah, it's her smart glasses talking to her.
No, I lowered it. Turned the volume off.
All right. Something. Control V. No, why did you keep giving me the Facebook? You piece of dirty ladlehosen. Oh, because this says Facebook. What the?
I wonder what the numbers mean when it says XP.
On what?
When on the live chat when it says 50. You just got to share it, right? Is that what you got to do, or do I need?
That's what I'm trying to do. There we go. Now it's not giving me a Facebook link. That was getting ridiculous. At everyone. All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to be really quick here. So we are late because Miss Anna had to prove to us how rich she was. Showing off all of her shoes. Look at her. She's got like 6 pairs of glasses on right now, all of them worth more than my house. Me and Yogi sitting here feeling disenfranchised. So if you guys can throw some $5 into the chat, help me and Yogi feel better about ourselves. In reality, it's more that I'm having power outages at my house right now, and the internet didn't want to cooperate with anyone else for some reason. So I'll let these ladies get to it. We get so 8 o'clock is now 7 o'clock, and 7 o'clock is 8 o'clock. Okay, that's how this is gonna roll.
Hello. Sorry, let me take these glasses off. Lord have mercy. I can't afford bifocals, so I got me 2 glasses for 1 glass. All right, Trevor Hill put on there, I'm rich. No, I'm not rich. Remember, some people buy things for themselves and what they like. Some of y'all get paid, and the first thing you do is buy a lottery ticket, hoping on a dream. I take my little bit of dollars and put them together and get me a pair of sneakers. I love sneakers. Go ahead, Yogi G. Say hi. Say hi. You're on mute.
Listen, I'm having some devil playback here. I'm gonna have to log out and log back in.
I can hear you. What you hearing? Oh, you gotta lower your thing. All right. So am I by myself? Lord, that thing that made me big.
Oh, I'll hang out so you ain't so big.
No, I was like, Lord, that thing. Anyway.
Right? I hate it when the camera focuses on just me, because then you can see all the open pores on my nose and everyone gets to make fun of me.
I know. That's the only thing. You know, that Trevor, to tell you the truth, that's the only thing I never liked about when they start making these new TVs.
And yeah, that Ultra 4K HD.
So I do like that the TVs, you can get them, at over 50, 60 inches, right? I do like that because I got me a huge one. I'm not going to say how big it is, but it's big. And the reason why I got it is because I'm going blind. Once you hit over 42, you got to wear glasses. And as you can see, I have 2 pairs. So if I take this one off, I can't see anything. But I'm wearing my official colors because tonight we're going to talk about the original Redskins called the Washington Commanders. So that's why I got these glasses on. Yogi G's back.
We found her.
No, I was getting a little too old for that. I was just like, what is happening? I was double talking and everything. But what's going on, everybody? So glad to be here tonight. What's up, Michael Barin? Ooh, words are hard once again. Is it Behringer? Let me try my DCPS education out and sound it out. And B. Marie, what's happening? Thank you for joining us. All right, Anna, where did you and Trevor leave off at?
Oh, we was just talking about how big TVs are and just goofy stuff that don't really matter. It matters, but it don't matter. So tonight we want to talk about some couple things that are going on in our city, the lovely nation's capital. Where who lives here? Yolanda, Yogi G, Lord, I'm saying the whole name. Yogi G, who lives here?
Trump, Donald Trump, Agent Orange. Yeah, Agent Orange. We are in the apocalypse prime time center, nation's capital.
So, I know this is going to sound crazy. Not everything he does is crazy, but I will say that this thing that he did to us is crazy. We give him too much acknowledgement, but this one I'm going to give him acknowledgement. He wrote an executive order to make DC beautiful. What's the other thing he wanted? Beautiful and what?
Safe.
So in his idea, he wanted to start off with, by making it beautiful, you would think we would get landscape or streets fixed, these houses that need some roofs, all the things you would think of that when you want to make a city beautiful. Put some more trash cans out, get rid of that old 2016 established rat situation we have in DC. Still ain't get rid of the rats. So when I think of beautiful, I'm thinking, okay, some more landscape, some more, more planting. I ain't talking about building because we got building, or some of the parks that are in my current neighborhood called the New York Avenue Playground. But instead, what he calls beautiful is what, Yogi G? Getting rid of what?
As of late, the executive order is getting rid of the homeless people. Which, thanks to gentrification in DC, we are having to have a lot to spend. Up in between, I want to say good evening to Maria Carter. Thank you for joining us, family. And Taz Montana, is that
T from the D?
Oh, what's up, T from the D? Thanks for joining us. But yeah, man, we got not only do we got King Cooper Bowser that already had a disdain for the poor because nobody wants the nation's capital to be looking like they can't take care of their people. But now we got Agent Orange that's also down for the crown of seeing who could get the homeless people out of here fastest or the poor. Either way, it's interchangeable. Allison Littlejohn, peace be unto you, dear. Thank you for joining us, and be Marie. Yep. All right, Anna. So now we got video for the peoples.
Yes, we do. So thank you for Mickey and Trevor in the back. Trevor, can you put the video on with the Fox? Is that Fox? That was Fox. Right?
Fox 5's Lindsay Watts is live in Northwest with the very latest. Lindsay.
Guys, DC Fire tells us the man was transported to the hospital, but he only had minor injuries. Still, this is raising a lot of questions and concerns about how the city is clearing out these homeless camps. We'll show you where this happened. It's a few blocks from Union Station in the Noma neighborhood underneath the train tracks on L Street Northeast. City crews were clearing tents there and on M Street when people on scene say a small bulldozer started to clear a tent with a man still inside. We talked to Montrell Williams, who says he knows the man who was in there and can't believe city crews let this happen.
Now their job is to what? Check the tents. Did nobody check and see who was in the tent? They just ran over them.
Williams is experiencing homelessness himself, and he says he's been trying a really long time to get a city housing voucher. The city is clearing these homeless camps as part of a pilot program that aims to get people into housing. But now at least one D.C. council member, Brianna Doe, says she's calling on city leaders to revisit the plans. Councilmember Charles Allen tells us in a statement, we should be celebrating people moving off the street into apartments, but what happened today was completely unacceptable. And tonight, we've just got a statement from the Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services. And this is how Wayne Turnage describes what happened. He says, unfortunately, despite outreach staff's multiple checks, there was an incident during the engagement where a bobcat temporarily lifted a tent that, unbeknownst to us, a resident was still inside. He says that person had no visible injuries, but the decision was made to halt operations for today. The question is, will this have a broader impact on the city's plan to continue to remove these homeless camps? We'll be following up. Back to you.
What it do, Carolyn Hendricks, thank you for joining us this evening. And Sherry Allen, thank you for joining us this evening. And actually, this is this segment that we're working on right now is dedicated to Sherry Allen because there was a conversation that was happening on Mickey's and Brother Elliot's show. And I told them about how our mayor handles our homeless population and told the story about back in 2021 of how they were anxiously or getting rid of our homeless by just trashing their encampments, not really having a plan of where they were going to go. And so, like I said, that was back in 2021. And now we're here again, where DC is dealing with a lot of development that's happening, but none of it is meeting the need of the people where they need housing, they need supports, and none of this matters in policy to who I like to call King Cooper Bowser. Go ahead, Fred.
I laugh every time you say that name.
All I know, I'm an 80s kid. All I know is how to identify my villains, and she is number one oppressor in my life.
You know, when you see in this video, supposedly you hear Charles Allen, who is a council member from Ward 6, say, "Why aren't we happy? We're supposed to be celebrating that these people will be picked up and put into an apartment." How long's are the list? The lists are long forever. So it's surprising to me to say that when they're going to pick these people.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to pick these people up and put them in apartments. It sounds crazy.
That was back in 2021. We're still waiting on that. We got 2,265 families that are displaced currently that were receiving rapid rehousing, but they ran out of funds because we got busloads of migrants transported from Texas and Florida. Thank you to the senators and the congressmen who dropped them on the front doorstep of our then Vice President Kamala Harris, who re-gifted that responsibility to us as the District of Columbia. And our mayor said, we know what to do with them. We're going to just clear everybody out that we already didn't house. We're going to put them where we had them. And now nobody has anywhere to go. So, yeah, that's right. Sherry Allen said that's awful and inhumane. Agreed. And Maria Carter said, literally picking them up. Sad. Yes, literally picking them up. So to continue that story, it's a little underpass. And if you've ever been to DC and you're familiar with Union Station, there's a little underpass that you can take to get to Union Station. And that is where the encampment was. So when they moved all of these encampments, they still didn't have a place for the homeless population to go. So what did they do? They decided that they was going to move on the front lawn of Union Station. So we gained a whole new encampment front and center. And that is what is sparking the comments that's coming out of Agent Orange's mouth of, DC not being able to handle making it great again. Trevor, can you put up Sherry Allen's comment, please? How low can a mayor go to show his constituents doesn't matter to him? Well, she's been doing this limbo dance since 2015, and I'd say given our new RFK deal, she's willing to go pretty damn low. Okay. I think it's quite obvious that if you don't have money to be in DC, the nation's capital, then you are not welcome. So,
because the new thing, being poor, is not beautiful.
Put that on the shirt. Being poor is not beautiful. And guess what? I happen to agree with that. I just don't agree with being pushed out and sacrificed. But I too don't think that poverty is beautiful.
So I'm gonna do a quick just a thought because we had said this. We were just not too long ago. Me and Yogi G took a ride on the east side to go look at some stores. And Yogi G had said to me, there we go. I just forgot it. Give me a second. All right, I'm gonna change my thought and then I'll go back. It just left me. That's that multi-generational thing. So if you look at Yogi G's shirt, there it goes. It says DC native. And I was saying to Yogi G while we were sitting there, I said, do you know that my daughter's generation, which she's Gen Z, does not say they're DC natives, and the Gen Xers don't say they're DC native. So I said, why do the millennials say they're DC natives? And then what was your answer, Yogi G?
Because y'all not experiencing push out. Gen Xers had the opportunity to build secure housing, ideally, and be able to participate in programs that DC had initially by Marion Barry's term to be able to get into housing, whereas we're dealing with the ultimate supervillain who doesn't value giving people the opportunity to get into a space to become housed or a homeowner. There's a lot of loops in the system that people, or a lot of cracks in the system that people have to fall through or whatnot. And it's really just sad to have to go through that kind of gentrification. But I also want to remind the people who are just joining us, because I realized that we have some new people in the space, that why is 202 on 810? Well, because a lot of the things that you have heard at the Morning Bump or heard in Brother Elliot and Mickey's show, or even Sister Saliba, are a lot of the things that we're dealing with here in the District of Columbia, aka the nation's capital. The only difference is that we have taxation without representation, which means that we do not have a valid vote in Congress, which is why Agent Orange has a lot to say about what we do. We have a thing called home rule that we were gifted, but highly advocated for by a lot of DC residents of past, where we were able to vote for mayor. We were able to have our council, which is made up of 13 bodies that represent at large and all 8 wards. And
no, they don't. They represent 13 deadly sins.
Those are honest words, not mine. Remember, I'm in a bunker, safely tucked away. Yogi G is out here struggling in these streets. So those were her words, not mine. But it just simply means that we need as many people to know the reality of what's happening behind the Capitol, so that when you are advocating to your congressman and your senator, perhaps you will think of our lovely faces and the people that we support as we do our work as advocates in our community to educate and spread the word that we are being oppressed. Go ahead, Ana.
I have a tattoo, right? And people's like, what does your tattoo mean? It says never ever negotiate oppression. Basically, stop helping people to keep us oppressed. And in our next little segment, because we're going to move on, it still continues to talk about people being homeless and not having access. But on top of this next part that we're going to talk about is, while some are celebrating, some are going to feel the rapture of the celebration that our mayor is now celebrating about. Before we put this next thing up, there's going to be opportunities for people to come out and testify next week. But we all know that sometimes these people make decisions before you could even testify. It is just, what is that called, Yogi G? It's just like saying, just giving you your due process. And sometimes the due process is not real. It's just, I just need a couple people to be on here to say, we want this, we don't want this. Kind of sort of like when you go to the council meeting in Flint and they sit there and they say, well, we're not going to let y'all talk. If you talk, we're going to kick you out. Except we do it the opposite way. We tell you to come and talk, but we already made the decision. We just want to lock it down and say you had your voice and it was amplified. So this next part we're going to talk about, what some people will be celebrating. But my concern is why people are celebrating about this new thing that we're going to have in DC that used to be in DC years ago. I worry about people like me, people like Yogi G. Like, where are we going to fall out? Where are we going to fall into these places when this next big thing that DC is going to have? Are we going to be the next group to be gentrified out? So go ahead, Trevor, put our picture up of our mayor, just the picture, celebrating. Because yes, that's our mayor.
Yes, that's our mayor for sure.
Yogi G, can you tell who's in the pictures? Can you like point at kind of like say some people that are in the pictures?
All right. So if you haven't heard me go back and forth with Mickey when he tries to push Liddell off of us, and I offered up a fair trade. If you want us to take Liddell back into the DMV because she's not a part of DC, let me be clear, she's in the Maryland area, full DC accent, MURLAND, Maryland area, then this is the lovely lady we are offering you up. The one in that nice burgundy suit there with the citiest smile, that's Brooke Pinto. That's our Ward 2 council member. The one I spoke about being connected to the Kennedys. And let me just be clear. I want to clear that up because I don't want nobody to sue us. Go ahead, Trevor.
The one in the burgundy suit. The giraffe? Look how long that neck is.
I am Trevor.
Good God.
Lord, he got a new animal. I thought you said this morning we were not going to put the moose on there.
I don't know nothing about this lady. I'm just going off of looks, okay? Now, comparing someone's personality to that of a sweet, innocent, wild animal, we can't do that to no mooses. We like the mooses here.
Nope.
The only megafauna on North American continent. The only... we love the mooses.
See, Trevor is somewhere in a safe location in Florida. Ana is in a bunker. Yolanda is out here in these streets. I'm not going to do it. All right, but I'm going to continue on with telling the story. What I said was earlier that she has some lineage to the Kennedys, and it found out that she is like down the line. But what I found more interesting is that her pops, she's still for money. Her dad, James, he owns MVC Capital Inc., which is it's a trade investment firm that is currently worth 162 million buckaroos. All right, and so we're moving on from there. The one in the middle, I'm gonna watch my words, because I socialize around in these streets. That is our Ward 7 council member, newly elected, Wendell Felder, and
he's with the lovely blue suit and the black shirt.
Yes, and then is there anybody else that we need to know? Which one? B. Marie, the one in the back is our newly elected council member for our Ward 7 area.
That snazzy looking gentleman about center frame?
Yes. Thank you, Trevor.
And he will be the council member that for this whole celebration we're going to tell you about. I'm sorry, Yogi.
And I do believe that the gentleman in the light bluer suits, I'm wringing my finger around, I think he owns. That might be the owner of the Commanders. I'm not sure. I don't follow the NFL, so that's out of my league. But that's a general account of who's there. And the rest of them are
stakeholders, people that put money, people, the investors are in here. We don't know which ones they are, but they're in these pictures. And then, of course, you always have to have people that live in those areas come out. Please come to my event because we're going to have a photo op.
It makes my heart sad.
Famous photo ops.
Trey Allen says, the one with the mic, is she the mayor? She looks like a Candace with the red lipstick.
Yes, she does look like Candace in this picture. Yes, that is our mayor.
That is Big Bow Bow herself. Yes.
Trevor, you could put the first video on because this is going to announce DC is going to officially have the Commanders welcome back home. So, not Mickey. Why I say Mickey? I meant to say Trevor. Trevor, can you put the video on? I think it's the one. Is it the 2.2 minutes?
I didn't name them, so I have to figure it out. Is it the one with the really tight shot on the on Koopa
There's two, and
Bowser?
they look the same, but one is 2 minutes, and the other one's like 3 minutes.
All right, so I've got a 3-minute one. Let me look at the other. Oof. Oof. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna have to track one down, but let's go ahead and see if this is the one that you wanted. A video file of, I think this one is 919.
Going to create
14,000
construction jobs. Who wants a construction
Yeah,
job?
that's the first one.
2,000 permanent jobs. $14 billion in direct spending. And we know that when all is said and done, more than $4 billion in taxes will be created by building this stadium and a mixed-use development. And that is what I'm so proud to be here to celebrate today. You're asking, what are we here for? This is a pep rally. You ever been to a pep rally? This is not job finished, because the job is not finished. The council is taking testimony, doing their deliberations, and voting next Friday. They'll take a second vote, and then they'll deliver me a bill to sign. That will finalize the deal. Don't think that this started 3 months ago, because it started 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I stood before you when I was sworn in, and I said, you know what, DC? I think we can have a Super Bowl here. I think we can have a Super Bowl here. And we are on the path to doing that. Now, there have been some obstacles, haven't they? We had to get the land from the federal government, didn't we? And one real late night in December, we did it. And
Now
I
we need to
made a
find out who that
promise.
lady.
My promise was, with 180 acres, yes, we want our team, but we want so much more. We want up to 6,000 units of housing. We want an entertainment district. We want an indoor sportsplex for DC youth. We want great transportation. We want the best in class parks and green spaces. We want a permanent memorial to RFK. We want, when I say that, I mean our former Attorney General, Robert Kennedy. Are you with me? All right, here's the path. Make sure you testify. If you can't sign up, send in your testimony. Here's the path. Make sure that on next Friday, we're giving the council members the support they need to do an important thing, and that is to...
Yep. So you heard her testify. They already made their decision. If you see the beginning of this video, I didn't want to put it all because it's a lot. It's about 20 minutes of her talking. But if you see her idea of what is a good thing for a city, Trevor, can you put Sherry Allen's comment up there? Oh, here we go. Everything's fantastic. Sounds like Nickelback. Yes, it does. Sounds like Nickelback Sally. Here we go. Sherry Allen says she's building a stadium while people are suffering on the street. Shame on her. Yes, Sherry Allen. Shame on her. Go ahead, Yogi G. Read.
So y'all know, I like to make it make sense, or as I like to say, I like to give it a kiss, which is keep it simple, stupid. Don't talk around me. What does this mean? What did she say? And absolutely what she said in this chat is where it's at. This ain't got nothing to do about the people that we just saw in the video prior to, which is we have a huge homeless population. And let me say this before I get into the logistics. I have to learn how to decompress when I see us versus us in such an egregious way. That is the very thing that always blows my mind that I have to explain when I go and travel to other spaces. How is it that a city that has predominantly Black leadership can still have the same outcomes as a city or town further down south? Well, I'll tell you, because at the end of the day, self-preservation reigns and money speaks louder than a lot of the other things that they got on their mind. So I know that the question was, where does the land come from and who's being displaced? Well, the land has been, okay, so let's see. Congress approved a bill to transfer control of the 190-acre RFK site to DC for 99 years. Mayor Muriel Bowser, King Cooper Bowser, and Council Moneybag Phil, the Monopoly Man, Cheryl Mendison, support the idea of bringing back the Washington Commanders as part of the redevelopment. The lease allows mixed-use development, not just a stadium, such as housing, retail, and public spaces. So what does that mean, right? The Commanders will fund $2.7 billion primarily for the stadium, and the city will invest about $1 billion in infrastructure and campus development. Now, let me just say this. We just had this big battle between Congress and our city officials on why we needed $1 billion to keep our day-to-day running, of which the Congress did not care. And so we just had this whole big tiff about what we gonna do, how we gonna still make it happen. So we
recess on the hill.
Yeah, and we haven't even figured that out. But what we have figured out is that we've got this magical $1 billion that we can give to make sure that the Commanders come home. And this includes $500 million in stadium and transit support, $356 million for parking garages, and roughly $140 million for utilities and transportation enhancement. Now, this thing has been on debate. Even there we go. That is the location of the former RFK Stadium, I believe that is, Trevor, because I see Stadium Army right there.
Yeah, that's the old
it doesn't look anything like that now. It looks like a skeleton, a shell of itself.
Looks like a big rust.
Right. But what has happened also in that area, there's been new development. And so where we have this housing crisis, right? We have housing crisis, but we don't have housing lack. If that makes sense, right? We got a lot of development that's happening. There we go. Yes, that's exactly the plan that our city is getting ready to invest $1 billion into, with the promise that there's going to be 6,000. What she say? 6,000 units, residential units. That will be affordable units. Now, let me tell you about this thing that irks me about this word affordable. Affordable to whom? Because last thing we said, just to live comfortably in the District of Columbia, you needed 200K.
1,000.
The natural DC native, the one that had to go through the school system and then show yourself worthy, only makes around 46K. The transient native, the transient resident makes anywhere from 136K or more. So when we talk about we're going to be getting more housing opportunities, I want my people that are sitting there waving them pom-poms to remember that don't include your black ass.
I've got a quick question. How much money did you say was going for that? They were throwing at this development.
Oh, I got that for you. Okay, so that is, let's go back. So the Commanders are going to throw 2.7 billion, and we're going to throw in 1 billion.
So 3.7.
There you go. Math is great. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just throw this up here. I don't think 3.7 is going to cover all this work, guys. Just saying. I think they're short a lot of it. So they're going to be asking for more money soon. Probably from you two. You're going to get taxed like a motherfucker.
No.
You're getting taxed.
Parking, when she said the parking and all of that stuff she was saying,
actually,
the city is going to now put it on those people that live in that community. And that community right there is Ward 7. It is the one area where the people from Ward 6 fought because they did not want to be mixed in with Ward 7. Ward 7 is usually known to, well, Yogi G could talk about that because she was proud. No, wait a minute. She was born in Ward 8, but she was raised in Ward 7. So she could talk more about Ward 7. I live there, but if you look at this area, it's starting to be gentrified, and it's like the last area where people that look like us or people that don't make that much income been around. They own their homes. So when you think about what they're going to do next, it's going to be It's going to be devastating to that community because they're not going to be able to stay.
Now,
Taxes are going to go up.
Is this like a more affluent part of town? Like, is this the place where people are making about $200K a year, or is this like regular Joe making that 57?
No.
Well,
So it's not that area. That area is not. If you go further up into Ward 6, yes, the people have the money there.
So this area around the stadiums, though, that's not the 200K.
No,
not primarily. No,
Ooh,
200K is more up. Think Georgetown, where the brick roads are still looking like about 1773. Bringing on down to maybe the area where we live in, where it's Ward 5, you might start tapering off a little bit to 200K when you get in that area. When you start going east, what we call east of the river, that's when you start tapering down to the 46 and the 40s or zero. You know,
I
the
just
other thing we
point
got
out here.
there, we used to have a hospital. Used to be, I think it was called Freeman. Forgot DC hospital. They closed that down. They actually turned the hospital into a shelter, and then you got the DC Armory there. So the military is there, and they come in and use it. So like I know you remember when Katrina hit. This is where they brought the people from Katrina to the DC Armory. This area right here. So it's a historical spot, but it's the people in that community are not known for having dollars. They've been there for a long time.
So that's what I was getting at. So anytime there's new developments, anytime there's pretty new buildings being put up, it raises the property value.
Yep.
And when your property value goes up, so does your taxes.
Yep.
And you
no
can
tax incentives for this.
So people here about to get taxed like a mother bear, and then when the city or whoever
retired,
whenever whoever repossesses city, whatever, some mortgages probably not. When they go to resell it, they're gonna jack that price up because look, you can see the new buildings from here, and oh, it's just walking distance. You can go see the Washington Commanders play, and it's only 5 miles or 20-minute walk. I like to point that out because taxes are one thing that I absolutely hate. It's my damned money. Stop taking my money. I don't see where the hell, in my case, the U.S. government came in and worked for a third of my entire time, before I got broken. I don't see where anyone's coming in and working your job for you, Anna.
No. But
how about you, Yogi?
I'm still searching for a job, Trevor.
Well, when you find it, do you think anyone's going to come in and work a third of it for you?
No.
No. So,
do you see right here where it says new pedestrian bridge?
Oh yeah.
So because this is like a main gateway from Maryland side, this is East Capitol, right? When you get to the end of that bridge, that community right there, I know you can't see it unless you can find another map. That community right there is the community that's going to get affected the most. Literally that highway, or whatever you call it, pathway that bridge is not that long. So the people that live to the far right, where it says where they're going to build that pedestrian bridge, like to the far right of that, where it says new pedestrian bridge, that is the community that has been underserved, not looked at, and not taken care of for
That's
years.
also the community that nice gentleman that we said that was behind King Cooper Bowser he's our representative of, and he was up there.
Okay.
So I have
So you're saying on the far side of that
right
is
now
where
looking for a
we send
house.
Liddell back, right?
the houses were probably
No.
He said, no, Liddell lives off of Southern Avenue. She's east. She's on the Ward 8 side.
Oh, okay.
Thing come out. But I'm saying when you go down that when you go to the, when he's looking at the bridge, when you go to the far right, that is the area where it's going to get affected the most, because what they're doing now, people are selling their homes, and then some people, it is what it is. Gentrification is real, and it's happening. And off of Clay, which is where the McDonald's is, off of Minnesota Avenue, which they try to say it's the main street, there's a lot of transient people moving in drones. Huge. That is the next area because of this new stadium that's going to be built. But what happens to the people that have been there? Those are the things that I worry about. And I see people celebrating, and they're like, yeah. But
bring the Commanders home. But you're not going to have a home yourself when the Commanders come home to DC. That's the part. And not to mention, sorry for cutting you off, Ana, but it just came to mind. Not to mention, we've already had major displacement that happened in an area not too far from there. We just had our Navy Yard area that has been reconstructed because of the new stadium that went up there. And now people in the residency have been priced out. Hey, it's real time around here. And then we also have had the wharf, which has been reconstructed. And we have people that have been priced out of there. So now that we have the stadium coming up, that's another area that could have potentially been highly focused on providing true affordable housing to those who are impacted by lack. And it's not happening. I just want to, before we move on to breaking down some of these concerns when it comes to this stadium, I want to tap into these comments. Sherry Allen, she said, wait, I'm going to this one, Trevor. Okay, we're going to read this one. She said they are making all these projects off the backs of poor people allocations. Without the poor population, they would not be able to sustain financially. It makes me wonder who these people are that will come to a desolate area unless a mass amount of investors agree to populate there. Yeah.
So that's what's going on. These houses are for sale. The area is for sale. And it's not the people that have been there. And the first thing you look at with Trump's new, trying to make this a Trumptopia, make DC beautiful, that means take the people that have been there out. No care that they've been fighting for. The lead in their water, their pipes to be fixed, their roofs, funding for their streets to be fixed, safety, period, safety. The gun violence, none of that matters to them. You haven't taken care of none of the issues, but you want to bring something big because you say it's going to draw revenue. But in that, did you make a deal to make sure that native Washingtonians are going to be hired first? Did you add that? So we don't know who's going to be coming in, what vendors are going to be coming in, and who's going to be getting these jobs. Because in DC, predominantly, Maryland and Virginia residents have most of the jobs in DC. And you see DC residents traveling to Maryland to make no money. In Virginia, oh, hell no, there's no money in Virginia. But you have a lot of people that don't want to live in DC because they cannot afford it. But they come and they'll live on the outskirts of DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and these jobs. So, I mean, those are just the thoughts we have today, like the things that are going on that I totally disagree with. But Trevor, there's the other video. If you could put that up, that will sum up exactly what we're saying.
It didn't send. All I have is.
So basically, she's just celebrating. And the people start to ask her. So the journalists are asking her questions like, "Well, did you really tell the people how much the taxes are going to be in that area?" We're going to. Everything is we're going to after. I just want people to really think in our community when people come in with these great ideas and saying we're going to bring jobs and we're going to build all these homes. Who are the jobs for and who are the homes for? That's just a thought that I have out for y'all. So before we cheer as people of color, regardless, it don't even have to be people of color. People that do not have the means like some people do. So I'm talking about anyone that makes under that threshold of 100,000 in DC, you are going to feel the rapture if you live in that area when this new thing comes up.
Just to address what Trevor had put in the chat, it says the plan now includes a $50 million community benefits agreement, along with firm timelines for housing and retail construction, and penalty clauses for developer delays. Now, while all that sounds great, once again, we don't have a clear definition as to or commitment as to who this affordable housing opportunity is going to be offered to, especially when you're talking about building up a community that's already looked at as it's a mixed bag, right? Because like Anna said, my tagline when I'm out in advocacy land is Ward 7 made me and Ward 8 raised me and Ward 5 houses me. But the truth of the matter is, if you lived here all your life, you become a product of every ward that you, except for Ward 1 or Ward 2. Ain't got that much money. Can't go to Georgetown. But you just really become a product of all of those things. And so even for how many people are just super excited without being really informed about what this looks like and know what to advocate for and ask for, they expedited the hearing to the 29th because they were getting some threats. I think we showed in the last show from Congress that if they didn't move quickly on closing this deal, that they want to take over ownership of this, and that means that would jeopardize our home rule that we have, and nobody wants that. And then so they moved it to a public hearing for due process, political theater on July 29th and the 30th, and already we have 500 residents that are signed up to testify, and the council is set to vote on this by August 1st. So it's already happening. Y'all heard it from Bow Bow's mouth. This happened 10 years ago. They were already working on this. All right, let me see. All right, let's go. Hey, Pastor Gaddis, thank you for tapping in. Thank you for joining us. T from the D said, football season is approaching, ladies. The Detroit Lions owe y'all Commander fans a payback. T from the D, I'm sad to tell you, I gave up NFL when they showed their true colors with Colin Kaepernick. You know what I mean? I haven't looked at it the same since then. So you might. And then here's a quiet secret. DC has this natural rival within themselves where you had the Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. And so because I like to agitate, it is in my natural spirit. I've never been a Commanders fan or Redskins fan. I've always stayed true to the blue and silver, the true DC Dallas Cowboys. But that was back in the day. Don't hold me to it now. Little Mama, thank you for tapping in. We love to see you in the chat. Sherry Allen said maybe they're thinking that they are going to create a tourist town. However, they can't get rid of all, thank you, impoverished communities. This movement reminds me of places like Jamaica or Bahamas. Absolutely. Listen, this is the nation's capital, and I love movies. And so the movie that comes to mind when we talk about what we're dealing with in DC is Hunger Games. Really. Or if you think about places like Dubai, it is the beacon of what your country represents, or the USA represents. And so they want it to be pristine. They probably want it to look like Gay Paris, but you can't do that when you got people nodding out on the corners and homeless people in tents on the front of your lovely statues. Let's see, got anybody else? Flint is turning out city tax collections over to the state. It's a sad time. Pretty sad the shipyard isn't pushing to hire more workers. Shipbuilding and shipbreaking is a great career. Is that for us in DC, Travis?
Yeah, you've got a shipyard right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked up, taking a look at it, and there was a article about the shipyard breaking a destroyer, which just means they're taking it apart and salvaging it. Most shipyards and breaking ships is welding and turning a wrench.
That whole area back there, Yogi G.
Yeah,
that's where everything is at. Literally,
this sad part is that our educational system, and Anna asked me, did I want to be highly, highly agitated today by talking to y'all about our educational system? And I said, no, thanks. I'm going to have to talk about that at another time when I had a lot of kumbaya tea and probably some other things to come up here for a whole hour just to tell you how bad our educational system is. And so to that, I say, Trevor, it has a lot to do with the inability of our people. You know, like once again, DC is such a transient city that a lot of the headlines get kind of blurred about what is the productivity out of a transient resident and what's the productivity out of a DC native. And if you do the DC native version, then we're significantly handicapped, and it starts all in our school system. And so, you know, if you're not teaching these skill sets like welding and things of that nature, then when you talk about these job opportunities, the construction jobs and things like that, who is that for? Not for the people who were born here, who have to rely on the system to be able to educate you to be prepared to be an asset. You cut me off before. I said it the last one. You're creating Kunta off the break, right out the gate. And so it kind of makes what the Congress has said about our school system. It is a school to prison pipeline factory.
So I sent you, Trevor, something funny. You know, I don't know, Yogi G. We might get saved by Agent Orange.
Nope, that slide's terrible.
We appreciate you, Sister Salima. Peace to you.
All right. Oh God. You sent me an Instagram link. I hate it.
Trevor said no Instagram.
My computer hates Instagram. I don't have Instagram.
So
it's tiny letters.
Agent Orange has literally said he might threaten us to block the Washington Commanders Stadium deal unless they go back to their former name. So I don't know if that's going to be a fight, because Trump, you might have everyone's support to say call them back the Redskins, but I'm not getting in that debate because it's a serious debate. But I still slip up and say the Redskins.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, because I think we got 5 minutes to go.
According to the little timer upper left-hand corner, you've got 7 minutes and 45 seconds.
7 minutes and 45 seconds. Well, let me get my soapbox up. Thank you. When you come to DC, because everybody wants to come and see that raggedy monument and everything else surrounding it, please, please, please keep your dollars in your pocket and bring it on over to the east of the river, where people still have businesses. People are still reinvesting those dollars into the community so that we can come up with some solutions on how we can secure the people and educate the people on what is really going on. It's unfortunate. It's us versus us. So when you think about DC and people talk about how we're a chocolate city, no, we're not. Please stop saying that. We are a chocolate city of old. It is a new type of chocolate, and it's mixed, and it's not helping us out at all. Okay, go ahead. It is the audacity for me. It's the audacity for me. Thank you for noticing. Go ahead, Anna.
Oh, go Taliba. Go put Taliba's comment up. Read it, Yogi G.
She said, great show, ladies. I enjoyed the both of you. Could not comment due to multitasking. We know you are a busy woman, Sister Taliba, and we appreciate you, especially you reminding us that we are definitely spiritual beings and have to be accountable for how we show up in that realm, because it all goes together when we talk about how do we free people from the matrix or not, and how do we really heal our people from inward out. So I'm gonna have to get you a pen, Trevor. It came from a wonderful space called Black Bone Project. If you ever come to DC, first and foremost, let us know so we can say hello. But if you ever get a chance to go to the South Side, it's called Sycamore and Oak. We have a lot of great Black-owned businesses over there that we would love for you to support. We got the food, we got the good jams. You know, we love our go-go's. It's a good time when you come to the city. You just gotta let us know you're coming through. I have been in DC since 2002. Said T from the D. Well, what you waiting on, T? Come on, it ain't that far gone yet. You know, I can't promise you nothing in the next year. We are in the center of Helltopia, aka Trumptopia. That's Ana and Yogi G for thanks Ana and Yogi G for dedicating this show to me. Y'all answer my questions. Absolutely, Sherry Allen, and happy belated birthday to you. Yes.
Oh, I just want to thank Taliba said something. Sister Taliba said something today that stood out. And I haven't done it in a long time. With all the stuff that's going on, we do just a thought and everything, and I believe that this is truly coming from the way we really feel. And sometimes it's real hard, like when you get on these platforms and start talking about your community, but it's time for a fast. So I'm going to tune in on Sunday because it's time for a fast. We have a lot of things coming at us. We're in the nation's capital. We have it all the way from the top of the executive branch all the way down to our local council. We get to see everything here. So, and some of this stuff mirrors Flint because it's like it's set up by design. Go ahead, Yogi G.
And we try to figure it out too. How do we keep us from hurting us? Because it makes the work for the people at the top a lot easier when it's always us going at us. So while we work to figure these things out, we look forward to sharing this information with you on A10 News Media Group. Shout out to Nikki, who was in the background. Shout out to Trevor, who's helping us always and giving us great commentary. And most of all, shout out to the 810 News Media Group chat family for giving us the opportunity to let you know what we deal with from the 202 to the 810 and beyond. And that's it for me. I look forward to sharing what we are dealing with and give you updates next Friday. And also, I know I promised early on we're going to get out in these streets and we're going to start talking to some people because we don't want you to just take it from us, right? We are only two versions of what's happening in the city. And we'd rather you hear from many different people to see whether or not it lines up with what we've been telling you. So we look forward to doing that too. And as always, have a great weekend. Stay hydrated. Stay safe. Anything else on your end?
No, not really. I was over here looking for my pen that says, "Stay safe, motherfucker."
And we're going to edit on that note, man.
I have something for you guys. Because I love small businesses. I love local businesses. And like I just said, I'm probably going to order stuff from local businesses up in DC. I don't want to visit because politicians are dangerous and I can't carry there. I don't like the tourist trap area because there's a whole bunch of senators in them. They're rabid. They might bite me. Okay. But how are the small businesses doing up in DC? That I would like to hear that in your next show. Just a thought, like, are they being strangled out by everything? Especially in your local neighborhoods, because I hear, a lot of the quote northern part of the eastern seaboard has a lot of small shops, little artisan shops, where you go to a butcher instead of going to Walmart, which blows my mind. So how are those doing in your neighborhoods? I'd love to hear about that next time.
Well, thank you for listening. Yes. We're about to make that happen because we love going around to the different shops so we can ask them our recipes.
And then let me give everyone here
I'm wearing my vintage 810 standing on business shirt.
Oh, and look behind you. There's an 810 mug.
Yes. So I can't wait until 810 gets the new logo with the new shirts so I can get me some new shirts.
But let's just do a safety briefing. Don't add to the population if you don't mean to. Don't take away from the population. And don't kick your dog.
Shit, and don't spill chemicals on the ground.
And don't drink DC water even straight from the tap.
Yes.
Or you're going to turn into a light bulb. Yes. Thanks to Petco.
I already glow. Watch, if I turn off that light, there's going to be like a slightly blue glow, unfortunately. I don't get enough sun.
Trevor, I'm just waiting for my antennas to spring up at any moment because it's already toast for me. So, I'm already safe in this bunker. But, But we're going to go ahead and let you good people go, though.
Well,
what?
If that's it, goodbye.
Peace, people.